At his 19th birthday party, my nephew made a wish while looking straight into my eyes. "I want someone who can teach me about love." Everyone at the table laughed. I couldn't. In a lonely marriage where I felt invisible, I knew he wasn't talking about some girl from school. He was talking about me. Hi everyone, I'm Jessica, the storyteller on the Adult Women's Tales channel. Here, I'll share stories about love, conflicts, betrayal, and infidelity within American families. These stories offer a deep look into relationships and the challenges families face. Stay tuned and explore with me. If you love emotional stories and want to uncover the hidden secrets in families, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our videos. Some wishes may seem innocent at first glance, but that perception can quickly change. I once held that belief. What damage could a simple wish possibly cause, right? A simple reflection, a gentle aspiration. Yet, certain wishes remain anchored. Certain ones adhere. They rest in your chest, heavy and patient, biding their time. On his birthday, my nephew made a heartfelt wish. That seemingly simple wish transformed everything. I wish I had brushed it off with a laugh. I regret not turning my gaze elsewhere. I regret feeling that pause in my chest when he looked at me and said it. I long for someone who truly understands me, a person who understands the art of love. All around, laughter erupted. I did not. I was unable to. Deep down, I understood that the wish transcended any girl from school. He locked eyes with me. In that instant, all my beliefs about love, family, and boundaries began to shatter. I attempted to convince myself it was insignificant. Please hold on for a moment, simply a product of my imagination. Yet, a feeling deep within me awakened. No one had laid eyes on me in what felt like an eternity. Not merely glanced, but truly observed. He certainly did. I can't decide what's more troubling, whether he noticed me or I allowed it to happen. If only I had declined. However, I chose not to. This is the tale of the events that unfolded as a result. Join Heartfelt Tales Unfold today and immerse yourself in authentic stories that explore the intricate layers of the human experience. Believe me, you definitely won't want to overlook what's coming up next. Who could have imagined that Leo's birthday wish would become the turning point that changed everything? Perhaps it had begun much earlier than that. I am 38 years old, child-free, unemployed. The flame in my marriage has faded. I once brimmed with vitality. I truly did. Once, I was filled with dreams, ambition, and laughter that could light up any room. Yet life has a tendency to take its toll on you. Bit by bit, you find yourself glancing in the mirror only to be met with a reflection that feels almost foreign. Marcus, my husband, is really not a bad guy. He puts in the effort, covers the expenses, he exhibits a courteous demeanor. However, he is absent. He's present, yet always feels distant, not quite. We share the same bed, yet it seems as though we inhabit entirely separate realms. He used to touch me as if I were significant. It feels as though I'm invisible to him now. No conflict here, lack of enthusiasm, only quietude. We floated gently and gradually, like a vessel untethered from its mooring. When I lost my job last fall, I hoped it might draw us nearer together. However, it only exacerbated the situation. He immersed himself further into his work. Extended hours, meetings that run late, an excuse here and there that just didn't seem to fit the bill. I lacked the energy to inquire further. I was caught up in the act of feigning indifference. Next, summer arrived. Diana, my younger sister, arrived to stay for a while. She embodies all the qualities I lack: vibrant, fun and lively, full of enthusiasm. She has a magnetic presence that instantly brings energy and vibrancy to any space she enters. She arrived with Leo in tow. 19, elevated, Fit and active, gentle in tone, he has consistently shown his kind nature, consistently courteous. From a young age, he would trail behind me, full of curiosity and eager to lend a hand. He referred to me as his awesome aunt. I once viewed him through the lens of childhood, yet this time he had outgrown his childhood. He stepped into our home carrying an energy that I hadn't even known I was longing for. It's more than just youth, it's about presence, inquisitiveness, embrace the warmth. He would light up with a smile upon seeing me, inquire about my well-being, hold on for the response. It's curious how certain memories linger with you. A gentle touch as hands meet while sharing a dish. A compliment that hangs in the air just a bit too long. The way his eyes didn't merely glance at me, but penetrated deep within me. I observed. And then I found myself resenting the very act of noticing. However, the reality is, it had been years since I felt so vibrantly alive. Each time Marcus overlooked me, each time he faced away in bed, each time he responded with a distant nod while I spoke, Leo made his presence known. I despised how deeply I started to rely on that. That night, we gathered around the table to celebrate Leo's birthday. The grill was fired up and ready to go. The sun dipped below the horizon. Diana burst into laughter over something amusing. Then Leo made that wish. It was virtually insignificant. A humorous quip, a fleeting remark. I long for a genuine connection. A person who truly understands me. A person who understands the art of love. Everyone shared a laugh. However, I raised my gaze. He was already gazing in my direction. He remained unflinching. No smile was seen. He held my gaze, as if attempting to communicate something profound without uttering a single word. I turned my gaze elsewhere, yet a transformation stirred within me. I attempted to brush it off. I convinced myself it was all in my head. That night, as I lay in bed beside my husband, the silence enveloped me completely. Leo was merely a few steps away. For the first time, I found myself not feeling like the adult in the house. I experienced the sensation of being the outsider. I convinced myself it was insignificant, yet an undeniable force had been unleashed. A line was drawn, so subtle that I could easily convince myself it didn't exist. Indeed, it was. I would definitely cross it. Who would have imagined that Leo's birthday wish would become the pivotal moment that changed everything? Indeed, it was. It was merely a jest, wasn't it? I reminded myself of that. However, the reality is that it didn't come across as a joke, not at that time. That's not how he expressed it, and particularly not the way he gazed at me afterward. We found ourselves seated outdoors, gathered together. Loved ones share a meal, while the soft glow of candles dances in glass jars. The warmth enveloped the scene, a languid summer heat that wrapped everything in a cozy embrace, evoking a sense of tranquility and intimacy. The aroma of grilled corn mingled with a hint of lemon zest filled the air. Diana was replenishing the drinks. Marcus was mindlessly scrolling on his phone, just as he always does. Suddenly, Leo blurted it out. "I long for someone who truly gets me, a wise individual capable of imparting lessons on life and love." Laughter filled the air, naturally. Diana tossed a napkin in his direction. Marcus remained completely unfazed, not even lifting his gaze. I managed to put on a smile, made an effort to join in. Yet deep within, I sensed a stirring, an unexpected surprise. He remained silent while everyone else laughed. No retreat, no grimace. He locked his gaze on mine for a moment that lingered just a heartbeat too long. As the night drew to a close and the atmosphere began to settle, I found myself rinsing plates in the kitchen. The light above the sink cast a soft glow, and the house was enveloped in a tranquil silence, reminiscent of the calm that follows a gathering as night falls. I didn't notice his arrival, yet I sensed his presence. He observed me in silence for a moment, then approached, offering me a glass from the table. In a gentle tone, just above a whisper, he remarked, "I truly meant that, you know." I remained silent. I was unable to. My hands were damp, trembling gently beneath the flowing water. I focused intently on the sink, feigning ignorance to what was said. Yet, my heart, it listened to him, clearly and emphatically. He held back. No further comments were made. He paused for a brief moment, then stepped outside. I lingered in that kitchen, time stretching endlessly as I grappled with the chaos that had just unfolded. It was just a joke. It was inevitable. He is in his teenage years. I am his aunt. However, the days began to take on a new feeling. He began spending more time with me, probing with questions, small details, the books I explored, my thoughts on specific films, and my beliefs about soulmates. It was more than just casual conversation. It was deliberate. He began showering me with unexpected compliments that took me by surprise. Your eyes may appear weary, yet they retain their undeniable beauty. Many individuals communicate to ensure their voices are recognized, engage in conversation to gain insight. I truly admire the qualities you possess and wish to see more women embodying them. Each time he uttered those words, I could feel myself losing grip. Initially, I dismissed it. I convinced myself that his actions were simply kind gestures, that I was overanalyzing the situation. Yet, there was a night. Once more, Marcus had dozed off on the couch. Diana enjoyed a night out with her friends. Leo and I found ourselves enjoying an old movie on the patio. He positioned himself uncomfortably close. Our shoulders lightly grazed against each other. At one moment, he leaned in to share a joke, and I found myself captivated by the movement of his lips, only for a moment. However, I took a glance, and even more troubling, I kept my gaze fixed for a moment longer. That night, sleep eluded me. As I reclined in bed beside my husband, I found myself captivated by the gentle, rhythmic dance of the ceiling fan overhead. I convinced myself it was all in my head, that loneliness was clouding my thoughts, that I longed for connection, that my imagination was simply running wild. Then, the night unfolded in the kitchen. From that moment on, I could no longer deceive myself. It was merely a jest, wasn't it? I reminded myself of that. It all changed that night in the kitchen. What's going on with me? I must have pondered that question countless times. Each morning as I opened my eyes, it was there, unmistakable. The persistent discomfort in my chest, not quite guilt, but something akin to it, a subtle confusion that hovered just beneath the surface. I began to notice details I had previously overlooked. The way Leo's eyes sparkled when I laughed was truly something special, or how he always seemed to seek out a reason to be close to me, passing me items, brushing by in the hallway, locking eyes with me for just a moment longer than anyone else dared. And may divine assistance be with me. The desire began to take hold. It just didn't sit right. It was incorrect. Yet it also stirred emotions within me that I hadn't experienced in years, perhaps never before. One morning, I gazed into the mirror and found a stranger staring back at me. However, I took a moment to gaze a bit deeper. I observed a change in the way I've been brushing my hair lately, adorned in the dress that embraced my figure, evoking memories of the body I once cherished, applying lipstick, even if it meant simply enjoying the comfort of home. This isn't meant for Marcus. He wouldn't bat an eye if I strolled in wearing a wedding dress or a garbage bag. However, Leo was observant. I began to thrive on the way his eyes sparkled with that look, that small spark, as if I held a value worth noticing. He has reached adulthood, I reminded myself. 19, nearly 20. There was no legal boundary. Yet, on a moral and emotional level, there's the divine. I was aware of the truth, yet I was acutely aware of the sensation that comes from being the focus of someone's gaze, to be desired. I had no idea how much time had passed without it until I began to experience it once more. Whenever Marcus strolled by, seemingly oblivious to my presence, Leo would inquire about my sleep, the truth about my well-being. If I were happy, those were more than mere words. He truly intended them. Stepping into the light after a lifetime in the shadows can be perilous. Without even noticing, I began to distance myself from my husband. I would slip into bed early, feigning sleep just before he entered the room. I ceased my requests for him to engage in conversation, to make an attempt. He remained oblivious. Perhaps he did, and showed no concern. It somehow intensified the situation. I found myself increasingly drawn to Leo. Every glance, every laugh, every subtle gesture between us began to feel essential. Like the very air we breathe, it felt as though I could finally take a deep breath once more. I felt a deep sense of self-loathing for it. Yet I found myself returning time and again. Each time I gazed into the mirror, I noticed the subtle traces of time. Yet in Leo's gaze, I glimpsed a brilliance that captivated, stunning, highly sought after, vibrant. One night when the house was quiet and everyone else was asleep, he knocked on my bedroom door. The sound of a knock at my bedroom door, it had a gentle touch, uncertain. Yet it resonated more powerfully than anything I had experienced in weeks. I chose not to respond. I was unable to. My heart pounded so fiercely that I was convinced he could hear it echoing through the door. I waited in silence, my breath caught, until the sound of his footsteps faded away, hesitant and lingering. And while the night may have seemed uneventful, a transformation had already taken place. Following that, the nights began to elongate. Leo would stay behind once everyone had turned in for the night, feigning interest in his phone as I busied myself folding laundry or tidying up the kitchen. He would share with me all sorts of things, his experiences at school, memories from his childhood, and the complexities of love in the modern world. I would pay attention. His words flowed over me, quenching a thirst I hadn't realized I had for so long. There were moments when we found ourselves on the couch, sitting closely together. Almost there, uncomfortably close, our discussions transformed into our own hidden universe. He would lightly graze my hand as he handed me a drink, allow his fingers to linger for just a moment too long as he passes me the remote. In that moment, our knees brushed against each other and we remained perfectly still, not even for a complete minute. It was an intense blaze. Not in a theatrical manner, but in that gradual, unsettling way that sends shivers down your spine and lingers in your gut. Yet nothing occurred. Not at this moment. It was that unforgettable night in the living room. The ambiance was softly illuminated. A film softly flickered in the background, something easily overlooked, a topic we both feigned interest in. It seems I drifted off to sleep. As I opened my eyes, I found him gazing at me, not merely observing, but truly engaged in the experience. With a tender, throbbing intensity that left me breathless, I inquired, almost in a whisper, "What?" He leaned in effortlessly, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, and whispered, "You're beautiful." I remained silent. I remained still. He then confessed, "I've always longed for you to be mine." The ground seemed to vanish beneath my feet. I propped myself up, my heart pounding, searching for the right words. Everything. Yet my mind kept circling back to one question. How long had he been carrying this burden? For how long had I been allowing him to continue? I instructed him to head to bed. I spoke with conviction. Chilly, it was the best decision to make. And he certainly did. He chose not to engage in a dispute, nodded, and then turned to walk away. I found myself wide awake throughout the night. The sight of him standing there, so vulnerable yet so assured, lingered in my mind. It lured me in. I wished to leave it behind. However, I was unable to. What's even more frustrating, I began to dream vividly. I envisioned how things might have unfolded had our paths crossed at another moment in time. If I were not tied down by marriage, if he weren't my nephew by blood, I began to revisit our conversations in my mind, his praises, those captivating eyes, his laughter. I began to observe how I navigated in his presence. I tucked my hair behind my ear as he gazed at me. My journey to selecting tops that fit just right, it had the enchanting aroma of my favorite fragrance. I leaned in just a bit as he spoke. I convinced myself that it was all in my head. He was simply being kind. I was so desperate for attention that it clouded my judgment. Yet it wasn't just a figment of my imagination. That's a thing of the past. Our distance was closing in, step by step, one day at a time. Yet, somehow, it went unnoticed. Diana had her hands full. Marcus remained completely unaware. In that bubble, it was only the two of us, a serene sanctuary just for us. I reassured myself that I could quit whenever I wanted. I held the reins until I became something else. That night remains etched in my memory, every detail vivid and clear. The atmosphere, the illumination, the stillness preceding the tempest. The evening unfolded like a scene straight out of a film, absolutely flawless, excessively unsettling. As if an event was on the brink of unfolding, even if you were unaware of what. Diana had ventured out of town for the weekend, a business journey. Only 2 nights. She placed a gentle kiss on Leo's cheek, threw me a casual remark, "Thank you for watching over him," and departed as if it were inconsequential, as if it were just another day. Marcus attended a work conference. He hardly mentioned that he was leaving. I simply jotted down a note on the counter and vanished for 3 days. In that moment, it was just Leo and me, inside the home, isolated. The rain had been falling steadily since the break of dawn. As evening approached, the skies burst wide open, the thunder rumbled, deep and unwavering, a caution murmured softly, barely audible. We decided to stay in. He prepared some delicious popcorn. I uncorked a bottle of wine. I promised myself it would only be 1 glass, simply for unwinding. We selected a film we had both watched countless times before. A sense of security, well known, yet there was an unmistakable sense of danger that lingered in the air that night. Just as the movie reached its peak, the power suddenly cut out. In an instant, complete darkness envelops everything. A moment of stillness. Then I heard him say, "I'll grab some candles." And he certainly did. He ignited 3 little treasures tucked away in the kitchen drawer. The gentle flicker of light cast a warm, soothing ambiance over the surroundings. The space exuded a cozy, inviting atmosphere, making it feel more compact and personal. He moved in closer. Once more our knees brushed against each other. I remained still. The rhythmic patter of rain against the windows broke the stillness of the room. Then he began to speak. He began to discuss the topic of loneliness. It's a struggle to grapple with the sensation of invisibility, even in a crowd of familiar faces. The overwhelming sense of artificiality in everything. Attending school, exploring dating, engaging in conversations with peers his age, he remarked that it seems like no one truly pays attention anymore, and I got it. I see it clearly now. I expressed to him that my feelings mirrored his. There were days when I felt like a specter drifting through my own existence. He gazed at me and declared, "You deserve so much more than that. You've always been there." The silence enveloped the surroundings, the type of silence that lingers, challenging you to shatter it. He leaned closer. I let him continue without interruption. I ought to have. I'm aware of that. I ought to have taken a stand, turned my back, spoken out, offered a word, any word. However, I did not. I allowed him to kiss me. As his fingers brushed against my face and his hand found its way to the nape of my neck, drawing me in just a fraction closer, I felt it. The pain I had hidden away for ages burst forth like a deluge. It was never meant to unfold this way. I never expected to experience life anew. However, I did. In those moments, I must admit, I felt anything but a wife, or perhaps an aunt, or an individual who ought to be more informed. I felt desired, noted, adored. In that moment, when his fingers brushed against my skin, all else faded away. My union, my sibling, all the reasons I had to halt this before it even began. I realized that it had been years since I experienced such a deep sense of closeness. I wished it would go on forever. That night transformed everything. I wish I could claim that was the conclusion. However, it did not. Join Heartfelt Tales Unfold to stay updated on the exciting twists that await you. The following morning felt distinct. He flashed a smile at me as if everything remained the same, as if the ground hadn't changed beneath us. Yet I found myself unable to return the smile, not entirely, not in the manner he envisioned. The daylight cast a weighty presence over everything. Authentic, incorrect. As he extended his hand to gently squeeze mine while handing me the coffee, I found myself not pulling away. That marked the start of the fallout. It unfolded gradually. It slipped in silently and gradually, much like a fog that goes unnoticed until it leaves you gasping for breath. Leo began reaching out to me non-stop. Small gestures to start the day, a cheerful greeting, a friendly smile. Last night was absolutely incredible. You're always on my mind. My eyes fixated on my phone, my heart racing with anticipation. At times I would respond. At times I would erase the messages before even taking a glance at them. Yet regardless of my efforts, the guilt lingered on, eating away at me, residing within my essence. Then Diana arrived home. Sisters have a unique instinct for sensing when something feels off. Leo maintained his composure, perhaps a bit too cool. He maintained the same tone and the same smile, yet there was an unmistakable glimmer in his eyes, as if he were anticipating something from me, a signal, a step forward. I was at a loss for what to give him. That very night, Marcus returned. He pressed a weary kiss to my forehead, took a seat at the dinner table, and hardly uttered a word. Yet, in the midst of his meal, he paused, glanced at me, and remarked, "You've seemed distant lately. Are you all right?" I stood still, unable to move. It wasn't just the words, it was the delivery that made all the difference. He felt no jealousy. He felt no anger. His voice carried a sense of diminutiveness, uncertain, like a man aware that something had changed, yet unable to identify exactly what it was. I mentioned to him that I was feeling exhausted, pointed fingers at the weather. Identical deception. That's when I truly began to distance myself. I decided to skip family dinners, left the living room when everyone was together. I found myself retreating to the kitchen more often, cleaning dishes that were already spotless, steering clear of discussions, steering clear of direct gaze, steering clear of my own presence. Everything had transformed. Each time I glanced at Diana, it was as if a heavy weight pressed down on my chest. She would share her thoughts on Leo's future, his aspirations, his college ambitions, and I would listen attentively, nodding and smiling, responding with all the right words. Every word pierced through me from within. I observed him from a distance, catching the way his gaze lingered on me when no one else was paying attention. At times, I would reflect on the past. Yet, the distance that separated us was now enveloped in silence. An oppressive silence hung between us, a weight neither of us could lift. Just when I believed everything had calmed down, when I thought I could let this fade away without causing a stir, Diana strolled into the kitchen one morning, coffee in hand, and casually mentioned, "Hey, Leo's got a college tour next weekend. I'm unable to accompany him. Could you please take him instead?" I gazed at her. All I could think was that Diana had asked me to chaperone Leo's college tour by myself. I not only let my sister down, but I also let myself down. The echoes of those words lingered in my mind, repeating endlessly. Inside the vehicle, taking a shower. Awake in the stillness of the night, I find myself gazing at the ceiling, contemplating how it all spiraled out of control. No justification existed. There's no tidy way to reverse the consequences of my actions, what we accomplished. Yet each time I attempted to bury it, suppress it, or act as if it never occurred, his face would emerge in my thoughts like a haunting specter, those captivating eyes. On that particular night, his gaze held a sense of wonder, as if I were a precious gem. Yet reality has a harsh tendency to shatter illusions. There you are, in a college campus parking lot, observing the boy who once whispered that you were beautiful, now smiling at a girl his age with that same gentle charm. I shouldn't have been surprised. He is youthful, attractive, vibrant, and energetic. What girl at that age could possibly resist that allure? What could possibly keep him from being captivated by her? Her eyes sparkled with brightness, vibrant, exuded that carefree assurance unique to young women, as if the world had yet to leave its marks on them. I observed him chuckle at something she mentioned. She reached out and brushed her fingers against his arm, observed him allowing her to proceed. And something within me broke, not out of anger, but from a place of shame. The kind of shame that twists and turns, leaving you longing to vanish from sight. I stood there, arms crossed, striving to maintain a neutral expression, aiming to suppress emotions, yet jealousy found its way in regardless, and right behind it, a wave of disgust. Look at him, at myself, at all that we would allow to unfold. Could this have merely been a fleeting moment for him? Is it a dream? Excitement awaits. Did I confuse attention with affection? Did I simply crave to feel desired one final time before the world turned its gaze away from me? I found myself pondering, what was it that I truly desired from him? Could it have been love? Or was it merely the mirage of love, cloaked in the comforting radiance of being acknowledged, listened to, and wanted? When you endure a prolonged absence of touch, even the most misguided attention can seem like a lifeline. I considered making a confession, informing Diana, taking full responsibility for my actions. How can you express something like that to your sister? How can you break someone's trust so utterly and still think you can come out unscathed? How do you face your husband and confess that your feelings of loneliness drove you to seek companionship with someone so much younger? Is there someone who refers to you as auntie in the presence of others? I replayed it in my mind repeatedly, time and time again. This is how I would begin. This is what I would express. Unfortunately, the opportunity never came my way. Just when I believed things couldn't possibly take a turn for the worse, Diana stumbled upon Leo's journal. What actions would you have taken? Is that so? I would like to find out. Have you ever found yourself making a decision that you instinctively knew was misguided? At that moment, it just felt right. Absolutely correct. It hushed all surrounding noise, reason, guilt, logic, and even love. That's exactly what I experienced. Every day since, I've been on a quest to unravel its meaning. Seeking to grasp how something so ephemeral could create such a profound fissure. It's not limited to my marriage. It's not limited to my family alone. Yet within me, if you're still tuned in, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever found yourself on the brink, toes gripping the edge, your heart shouting one desire while your conscience pleads for restraint? We'd love to hear your insights and suggestions in the comments below. Your words could be exactly what someone needs to hear right now. Don't miss out on our next captivating story of intertwined emotions. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Heartfelt Tales Unfold. These stories belong to more than just me. They belong to all of us. Narratives woven with passion, remorse, allure, and authenticity. The narrator's voice is now hushed, filled with a sense of gravity. Every word carries the weight of experience. Love is a complex tapestry woven with chaos, beauty, and a hint of peril. Yet the anguish of traversing boundaries we cannot revert, enduring for a lifetime, Leo has moved forward. Absolutely, he did. He's in his youth. The world continues to reveal itself before him. Occasionally, I come across his images on Diana's social media. He's smiling, radiant, seemingly unaware of what he left behind that night. Yet I understand that I have never reclaimed that version of myself. The edition that embraced restful slumber, the version that believed in her own reflection, the version that held steadfast to the belief that love and loyalty are inseparable. I embrace my choices now. Some days are more manageable than others. There are days when I momentarily lose track of it all, yet the burden remains. Not quite. I'm sharing this story not to seek forgiveness, but to provide clarity for anyone out there positioned at the brink where I once found myself. Perhaps, just perhaps, if you listen to my story, you'll reconsider your next move and pause instead of proceeding. Often the most profound scars are the ones we inflict upon ourselves. That's it for today's story. If you found it moving, don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.